thermal sound wave.
It's thermal sound waves, the natural alternative to fast food radio. We hear C.Truth, Kev Lawrence.
Yep.
Right about now, we bring to you on the program someone from the world of comics, the world of art, the world of design and graphics. He goes by the name of Jace. Here with us on the program.
J Comics. Do we call you J Comics? What should we call you?
You know what? Yeah, man. J Comics kind of cool, actually, man.
Okay, J Comics.
J Comics,
folks. How's it going, man?
Chilling, man. Chilling. So yeah, Jason Lopez here from JJL Collectibles, and yeah, you're right. I mean, from some of the best worlds, man, as far as art, creativity, design, everything. So I appreciate y'all having me.
Oh, no problem, man. So where did you get introduced into that world of, graphics, arts, and comics?
It's funny you say that because I, as a kid, 8, 9 years old, my brother was reading X-Men. And so he was teaching me that X-Men pretty a representation of how kind of we were raised, right? Where you got this mutant faction that is discriminated upon by most of America because they don't know what they're dealing with, right? So me growing up Puerto Rican, brown, I kind of related really quickly to it because, we're talking about a whole race of people that are discriminated against because of their mutant genes, so to speak. So for me, it was X-Men, Wolverine, Storm, Cyclops, that's what really got me into comics, especially when my brother taught me that was kind of like the parallel. You had Magneto as like a Malcolm X and you had Professor X as a kind of like Martin Luther. So I kind of that's what really drew me to it, honestly.
Gotcha. And big ups to your brother because when I explain to people why I like X-Men over everything else and why it's not really comics, it's really a human story, that's why. For all of those reasons that you just named there. It's really about we as people and also the powers that they have. Those are real powers. Those aren't something that's like fantasy. But that's a different discussion. But those powers that they have,
Storm is a real power,
are also real too,
of a real woman from woman. Like
so, we could talk about that on another situation, Jay. But that's another cipher we could have.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, a whole nother discussion.
But shouts to your brother. Shouts to your brother.
Big ups to your brother, and definitely big ups to you for actually getting with the real comics. You know what I mean? That's the real one right there. All the other stuff is kind of corny.
Yeah, so we grew up, X-Men, Marvel, and then you remember the 90s hit and everybody thought they were going to become millionaires when Superman died and, the comic books were becoming like a real big boom. But also we got Image Comics and a lot of the independent comic book companies that came out. And I grew up again on those independent comics. So X-Men, I loved. And then came, these different books, Young Prophet, Spawn, obviously another amazing black anti-hero who, again, a dope story by Todd McFarlane. So for me, man, it really drew me into that world, that independent world of like, okay, anybody can do it. Not anybody, but more people have a chance to do it. Then you had people like, Hardware, DC Milestone, and that whole just brown community just killed it with the Icon. And then you saw Static on TV. So I think we all kind of are a product of that, especially if you're born in the 70s, 80s, even early 90s. You're a product of that. And I just kept going with it to this day.
When we see, you mentioned the name McFarlane. When he really came about with his style of illustrations, that changed a lot of the way people used to draw when making these characters. It was more because we had obviously the Eric Larsons, you had the Kirbys, but when McFarlane came into play, and when he started doing things like Wendigo and these characters, I know some people are like, what character are we talking about? Go look at these characters. Look out how the style of the drawing was. It was almost like it was kind of close to graffiti-ish. The angles and everything he's doing with the drawings when he did Spider-Man and stuff like that. So I'm really shout out to you for mentioning his name because a lot of people just hear about comics, but they don't know about the people that were like game changers in the comic book. Yeah. To this day, Amazing Spider-Man 300, first appearance of Venom, and Todd McFarlane is a co-creator of Venom. And to this day, we're selling Todd McFarlane signed Amazing Spider-Man those are going for the thousands now. His original art in the tens of thousands. And, again, he helps people like me maintain a living. I get to see him. I was with Eric Larson
at New York Comic Con, and he did a sketch for me of Spawn on a sketch cover, and then I got that graded. Man, that book is priceless at this point. You know, I could sell it for $6-7 grand, but you know, we hold on to it to kind of show people the capability of what we can do with their comic books.
Exactly.
So, Todd did a great job, man, with his artwork, and to this day, like you said, they homage Incredible Hulk 340. I don't know if y'all saw Deadpool versus Wolverine, but when Deadpool's looking for Wolverine, there's a big scene where Wolverine flexes his claws out, and you see Hulk's image. And that is an old cover by Todd McFarlane that actually they paid homage to it in the movie. So to this day, in 2025 or 2024, when Deadpool Wolverine just came out, we're still looking at Todd McFarlane's influence in movie theaters, which is crazy.
So talk about some of the things that you have within your comics, J Comics, and some of the stories that you talk about and the things that are within your pages.
I got you. And of course, if y'all want to catch me anywhere, Instagram or Facebook, you just catch me on JJL Collectibles. So just remember that name as y'all hear to this, listen to this, and just let y'all know y'all can see me anytime there. But again, man, when it comes to what we do, so JJL Collectibles, we are what you would call a CGC facilitator. So we travel to different shows across the country, and we help people get books signed by some of the most legendary artists. Like I said, we were with Eric Larson the other day. We were with Todd McFarlane.
Wow.
Gabrielle Delato, who's a very famous artist who has not come to America in years. We were with him at MegaCon in Orlando. So as far as just comics, you know, we facilitate that, make sure people get their books graded. They can get their books cleaned and pressed if they want to get the best out of their books, if they want to sell their books. And pretty much we do it all when it comes to collectibles. And what I love that y'all kind of pointed out is, like, I'm a very big historian of comic books. So whenever I have people at my booth at shows, I tend to try to give, especially the kids, young ladies and young gentlemen, about the history of comics and where they come from. I have Famous Funnies, probably my oldest book that I own, from 1936. And 1936 February, that book came out. That was the year and month of birth of my grandmother. So I made sure that I got that. And wow. Famous Funnies is actually the first ever ongoing comic book title that ever came out, which came from an original book called Carnival. I think Carnival of Funnies. It's something with funnies. And then they went ahead and created a long-standing book that went over 200 issues. And that's another big thing with, you know, like books. You got Spawn at issue number 368, 369. So we got Todd McFarlane, who has Spawn going for over 370 issues at this point. But yeah, we're a connoisseur of everything, man. And we just love to connect people with their collectibles, anywhere from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to, you know, new stuff like Transformers. So yeah, and I do read a lot. So I read at least maybe 100 books a month to kind of stay up on the culture. So I kind of equate the comic book culture almost to like hip hop, right? You got breakdancing, you got DJing, you got radio, you got freestyle, you got battle. When it comes to comics, you got grading. You got to read your comics, obviously. You got the artists that actually do the drawing. You got the writers that write the story. So there's so many different parts of this culture that I try to kind of make sure I stay true to every day, you know?
It's Thermal Sound Waves, the natural alternative to fast food radio. We here, C.Truth, Kev Lawrence, talking to J Comics here on the program.
So the people out there, because you're going to have people out there that's going to say things like, why are you into comic books? It's stupid. Like, do you even make any money with it? Like, it's just... You like grow up. For people out there that might say things like that don't understand that. You know, I know you're laughing right now, so they don't understand. Like, grow up. You're into comic books. You're not even a man anymore. Like, be mature. Like, it's not even like a real career. Can you explain to some people the pros of comics?
The business of comic books.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's my part, right? Where I quit my day job, 3-4 years ago to pursue this passion of getting books graded for people and selling comic books. I mean, we're talking... the other day, Detective Comics 27 sold, I think, for $3 million.
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold up. Wait. Hold up, Sam. Wait. Hold on.
Say what?
Can you say that again, please?
I'm going to look it up right now real quick because I saw the most recent sale. And that's obviously the first appearance of Batman, right? Not everybody has it. But remember, right, there's books out there. So that book was back in 1937, right? So CGC graded Detective Comics number 27 sells for a record price of $1.82 million. And this was on March 27, 2024. So a year ago, a book sold for almost 2 million. I think what people out there can't forget is that 1937 was a little under 100 years ago. So you can't tell me that there's not a book out there in this world in 2025 that is going to sell for hundreds of thousands in the next 70, 80 years. So for me, it's just a rolling thing every day, right? I just picked up an Amazing Spider-Man #1. It's a CGC graded 1.5. It's a very low grade. That is considered a low grade in the scale of grading books, but the book is worth at least $7,000. So we're talking my collection alone, my personal collection, probably in the hundreds of thousands. So at that point, you know, me and Jackie, my partner, my wife, we go ahead and we assess these books and we figure out who we're going to let them go to. Are we going to find the right person that really has to have this valuable book? You know, I just spoke about the Eric Larson book. I have a book that was sketched by Eric Larson, another artist named Koi Pham, another artist named Ethan Young, and the final artist, who was the fourth one? Scott Hanna. That book, I mean, I paid $50 for the book. I paid, $80 to get it graded. So we're in at $130. I paid $200 for the sketches. So we're in at $330. I have people offering me $5-6 grand for that book.
Oh, wait. What? See,
that's what's called an investment. That has matured and has really appreciated.
But people understand it because they feel like you're just a loser with comics, like with cartoons.
They don't know.
And shout out to that person in the background, probably the wife, because she threw numbers. I heard in the background she threw some numbers out there. So to understand the flip of that, it's almost like no different from somebody flipping houses.
It's an investment, straight up and down. It's an investment.
Sneakers.
It's investment.
Yeah, and I'll tell y'all, like, I was at MegaCon, right? And we went ahead and we spent a few thousand on getting books signed, getting books graded. And now that they came back, I just got them back. It's on my Instagram feed, actually. It's one of the videos. It's about 24 books that we spent a few grand to get them graded. And if we sell them, we're talking maybe a good 60% margin if we sell them at the value that they're worth. Or, again, I'm the kind of guy, I'm at a show and a kid comes up to me and he's like, wow, you have Venom signed by Gabrielle Delato. I've always wanted one, but it costs $500. The first thing on my mind is, what did I pay for it? And if I paid $110, $120, then that kid, if he wants it for $200, then he got it, because I love taking care of kids and I love making sure that they understand the investment that they're making. So for me, obviously it's a great flip and it's a great business getter, but I also understand part of the culture where, like, if someone really loves something, are you really going to hold it at this certain price and not make sure that it gets in their hands if they truly love what's in front of them? So that's one of the big things that I look at too when it comes to selling and the business side of things.
That's a beautiful thing. That's beautiful.
Wow.
And if you look at any businesses, I don't care, investments, whatever, there's not many places that you can find a 60% margin. I'm telling you, there's not like many places you'll find that. That's so rare.
Wow.
To find that. So yeah. So obviously, JJL Collectibles are doing the right thing. They understand their business. They know what they're doing. And big ups to you, man, for also paying it forward to the next generation, so that they can have that appreciation and that they can understand what's going on with just the whole world of that, man, which is a very, very big thing, man. So I must commend you for that.
And your business partner.
I appreciate that.
Definitely. So let everybody know once again where they can get more information on your company, the Instagram, websites, if you have that, all that information.
Oh, of course. So you got on Instagram, we're at JJL Collectibles. You got our website. So I built a nice little website years ago, and I'm still adding more to it every day. JJLcollectibles.com. And you've got Facebook, you got JJL Collectibles. And the last thing I forgot to tell y'all is, on our website, we have like special covers that were only made for us. So we just released Nightwing number 122. So there was only 1,000 copies printed of that book. And it's got Nightwing on the cover. And then it says JJL Collectibles on the back of the cover. So if people want to cop that, they go to the website, and it's pretty cheap. I think I got it for like $25. We also have a Transformers cover, and we also have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cover. Now, these things are called variants. They're variants of kind of like the same book, but sometimes, a company will bless a JJL Collectibles and say, do you want your own cover? Do you want to choose the artist? We choose the artist and we get that cover. And now someone can get a variation of Nightwing number 122 with a different cover on it. So that's on jjlcollectibles.com. You got the Facebook JJL Collectibles. Honey, any other? No, so I got all the platforms. Yeah, JJL. Everybody remember the name JJL Collectibles. We want to take ourselves global. We don't want to just obviously want to stick to comics, but we want to bring comics to an even larger platform than what it already is. And that's going to be through, obviously, it's a Brown-owned business, and it's a business that, pays forward and takes care of our people. So definitely JJL Collectibles all the way. Just look it up, Google it, and you'll find everything.
But before we go, I know you'll say something, C.Truth. I'd like to say to you, really, I'm really, really proud of you, because I know where you came from. I know where you used to work at before, and to leave a certain kind of job at somebody might call a career, very well making career, to jump and believe in yourself. What you're doing now is not easy. That's the thing that people be like, I'm leaving you. You're leaving this job for that? I'm leaving you. So somebody got to believe in you. Be like, nah, I see where you're going with this, and we're going to make it. So shout out to you for believing in yourself ultimately.
Well, thank you, my brother. As long as I got people like you, family in the corner like that, man, I love you to death. And yeah, man, we're going to keep riding it and keep doing our best for the community and just for the world.
Absolutely. Definitely keep doing it, man. And keep coming up with the original ideas and stories and stuff like that. And also, man, I might get with you on some ideas and some things as well. It's some characters and stuff like that, down the road. So, we may be talking soon.
It's funny. It's funny you say that. My wife Jackie, she had said, when are you going to write something? Because I'm a pretty good writer, and yeah, we'll talk. I definitely want to go more into the other. I can't draw for nothing, so that's something I can't do. But I could definitely write my butt off. So definitely we'll talk, man, because I definitely want to continue to do more things with the culture, and that's what I love about this.
Definitely. Well, listen, thank you for taking time out to tell us about what you got going on. Also, once again, paying it forward and continuing to do great things in the world of comics.
Thank you, fellas, for having me. It's an honor, and I really do appreciate it.
All right, brother.
Yes, sir.
Later, y'all.
Peace. It's Thermal Sound Waves, the natural alternative to fast food radio. We here, C.Truth, Kevin Lawrence.
Thermal Sound Wave.